Hey my love, court is officially in session. And by court, I'm referring to the Dupe Court, a brand new series I created where I will be reviewing dupes of popular and luxury fragrances. In today's case, I have 10 dupes of 5 very expensive fragrances. And by the end of this video, you should know the right fragrance dupe alternatives to spend your money on. If you'd like to know what fragrances are on the docket, why don't you get settled, get hydrated. Let's get into the video. First up before the court is the case of Sirene by Perfume Dupes. Now this is a dark, sexy take on cherry. Before this was out, I don't think I really gravitated to a lot of cherry fragrances. Sirene took a different edge because of the infusion of oud and some lactonic elements with pink pepper, making for such a sensual, creamy, addictive cherry fragrance. This one I love so much. It gets me compliments all the time, and my favorite season to wear it is, fall or even summertime, but in the evening because of how intense it really gets. But it's so sexy and it's quite long lasting, so you don't need to spray a lot. Now it's been out since 2024. Now I have been yearning for alternatives because this is pricey. Thankfully, we got about 2, which I will be talking about right now. First is Pinklin by Paris Corner. Now this has been out for a few months and I've had it since then. I would say that this smells a lot like Sirene, but you have to wait for it to age a bit, mature a bit for you to get the true form of Sirene. I mean, it's sweet, it's creamy, it has all the facets of Sirene that I love, but I had to wait a little while for it to get to this point. If you're not a person who is patient or cannot wait for a fragrance to really change or turn, Pinklin may not really be the one for you, because I remember getting this and a number of people asked me, is this a dupe? Is this a dupe? I was like, I'm not really seeing it, but I get it. I had to really wait for it and then it changed. And so that for me is something that has taken off the mark from Pinklin. If you're looking for a fragrance that from the get-go, you're going to get that OG scent of Sirene, you're not going to get that in Pinklin. But if you wait a bit, give it a couple weeks or maybe a month, store it in a dark corner, you're going to get Sirene literally in Pinklin. Performance wise, this is great. I'll give it about a 6 to 8 hours wear on clothes. It's a really good offering. And now I'm going to compare the next. Alicia Scarlett by Rayhaan Perfume. I've had this for, let's say, about 3 weeks now. And I promise you, from the get-go, you're getting Sirene. You don't have to wait for it to age. You don't have to store it anywhere. This is Sirene. From the minute you spray it, all through the wear of this fragrance, at least on my clothes, it's that dark, seductive cherry fragrance that is warm. It's creamy. It's a bit spicy. And my gosh, I love it so much. For Pinklin as much as I used to. I mean, you only know what you know, right? This used to be my baby. I mean, I have worn it a lot. Not sure if my camera is catching the dent, but I used to wear this frequently, especially in the fall. But since getting Alicia Scarlett, I don't know about Pinklin. And the performance on Scarlett is amazing. I mean, I can still smell it on my clothes by the end of the day if I spray it in the morning. I mean, it might not project as heavily as it did at the beginning, but trust me, it stays, and I love that. So for me, sometimes I just don't have the time to wait for a fragrance to change and turn. I want something that gives me what I expected from the get-go, and it's been delivered 100% with Alicia Scarlett. So to compare both of them, great fragrances. They both smell like Sirene, but if I was to give a winner in terms of smelling just like the OG, straight from the get-go and with an even better performance, I'll give the score to Alicia Scarlett. Get this, not this. Next is the case of Annie by Nishani, one of my absolute favorite vanilla for summertime. This is spicy from the ginger, and then it has a lush richness to it thanks to the blackcurrant and roses present in the fragrance as it settles. I am obsessed with Annie. I've literally run through my bottle, and I just know that any single time I recommend a fragrance, especially a spicy vanilla for summertime, Annie has to be on that list at the top. Now, we've had multiple representations of Annie, but the top 2 that I have and have tried are Scepter Ghost by French Avenue. I just love the bottle design. I've got to bring this up for you to see. This looks quite luxurious and it has that weight to it that makes you feel like you paid premium for it. I don't know if it's just me. But anyway, the fragrance. This is Annie rebottled for a fraction of the price. It is spicy. It is woody. It smells expensive. This has everything that I want from Annie in an alternative. I love it so much. And surprisingly, I haven't had this long in my collection. So like, wait a minute, why haven't I gotten this? Because I believe Scepter Ghost has been out for what, a couple years now. It has that elegant, expensive smell that Annie brings to the fore. This is such an enjoyable vanilla fragrance. Nothing about Annie is missing here. In fact, I probably want to say that this is a bit sweeter than Annie, a little bit. You probably will not notice it, but I do. And that makes me enjoy this even more. This is a beauty to have. Performance is great. I mean, in my opinion, nothing really compares to the Nishane fragrance performance because those are top tier, heavy beast mode scents. But at least Scepter Ghost gives it a run for its money. You're getting 10 hours solid while wearing this fragrance. If you spray like I do, and I bathe myself in this because I just love the accord that forms out of this fragrance. So I enjoy it. I have no regrets about getting Scepter Ghost in my collection. Now, I'm comparing this with Nash by Lattafa. Now, this I also enjoy. It reminds me of Annie, but it doesn't necessarily sit as Annie. Like, I don't get that full body spiciness, that woodiness, that sort of creamy muskiness that Annie delivers. I don't get it fully in here. And I've tried to overspray. It reminds me of it. I mean, it is it in a way, but not to its fullest form. And performance out of this, sadly, is poor. With Nashit, I'm getting maybe 5 hours, and that's after I have oversprayed. I mean, now if I compare that performance, what I'm getting with Scepter Ghost, obviously you can tell that Scepter Ghost trumps it. And the fact that I'm getting Annie directly in Scepter Ghost over what I'm getting with Nashit tells you all you need to know. If I was to recommend the very best dupe of Annie by Nishane, I would say don't get this, get this. Now, next before the court is Libre V.C by Yves Saint Laurent, a fragrance that I still don't understand why it's been discontinued. That is the DNA of the original Libre, which is your lavender, bit green and spicy with orange blossom, sweet and fluffy, of course with vanilla. And then they added in some rum, more vanilla, making it more golden, more sophisticated, more feminine, in my opinion. Again, I don't understand why that was discontinued. I have a decant of it, the bottle. I don't know why I don't have it here. But I love that fragrance. Now, there has been one very popular and viral dupe of that fragrance, and it is Panache Angel Dust by Khadlaj. This has sold out so many times because people have been looking for a great alternative to Libre V.C. And I'll admit, this smells just like V.C, but I think it is creamier, muskier than the OG. And for me, while that is nice, some people cannot handle a lot of musk in fragrances because for them, understandably, it smells dated, you know, vintage. And that sort of takes away the beauty of Libre V.C when it comes to Panache Angel Dust. That is not to say it's not good, but because of that added musk, it takes away that softness that some people have been looking for from the OG in this fragrance. You know what I mean? Performance wise, this is great. I mean, it is not groundbreaking, but you're going to get it for about 8 to 10 hours. I recommend overspraying this. I've had to do that regularly and I haven't seen any problem with that because it's not the biggest in terms of its intensity, but once you overspray, you create this beautiful cloud around you that is enjoyable. Now I'm going to compare this with the newest release, Rafeef by Zaafaran. Now this is relatively new as well. No one seems to be talking about it. It's not even listed on Fragrantica or Perfume. That's to tell you how hidden this fragrance is. But I'm going to tell you, if you're looking for what Vanille Couture smells like, literally 1-to-1, the greenness from the lavender, the fluffiness, the sweetness from the orange blossom, the rum, the extra vanilla, just well-rounded to represent what you're getting in Vanille Couture You're going to get that in Rafeef. I promise you, I was blown away the minute I got this and I smelled it. I'm like, wow, this is what we've been waiting for. There is nothing extra added in here. It's almost like they went into the lab and collected a sample of Vanille Couture, made it just like what we're looking for. Also, I'm going to talk about the bottle. Once you bring it up close, you're going to see an image of a petal. I don't know if this is an orange blossom or a vanilla flower, but it is embossed directly to the bottle, which I think is glorious. I've said this so many times. I am a nerd when it comes to packaging. Give me art. This is art. And this smells just like Libre Vanille Couture. It's your green, sweet, golden vanilla, a little bit boozy, just enjoyable. It has that elegant sophistication to it. And I'm getting that in Rafeef by Zaafaran. Now, performance is what I do struggle in with Rafeef. I'll have to admit, Zaafaran fragrances, at least the ones in my collection, don't have that strength when it compares to other fragrances, at least in terms of dupes. So with this, not that it is a skin scent or it's subtle, but if I'm getting, let's say, 6 to 8 hours of this while overspraying, with Rafeef, I'm getting 4 to 6 hours overspraying. So you have to bring that to bear. What are you looking for? Performance or exact smell? Bearing in mind though that Vanille Couture wasn't the greatest in terms of performance. So that being said, I know that there are variances between these two that seem to be cons. I'll tell you, if you're looking for that exact dupe of Vanille Couture, you're going to get that in Rafeef. But if you're looking for some more creaminess, muskiness, sweetness, you're going to get that in Panache Angel Dust. However, my verdict for the best spot-on dupe of Vanille Couture is Rafeef by Zaafaran. So I'll say, don't get this. Get this. Next on the court is Queening by Mind Games, a fragrance that has taken the community by storm. Now, this is a fragrance that is a beautiful vanilla. It also has some rum with the booziness, but I think the standout here is the coconut, which gives it that creaminess. It's sensual in the way it smells, with some saffron adding in the spiciness. I've said this in the past, I'm going to say it again. Whenever saffron is used in fragrances, it creates an air of sensuality. It's like a woman who is confident in her femininity. That's how I feel whenever I have or wear a fragrance infused with saffron, and you're getting that in Queening. So the merger of the vanilla, the rum, the coconut, the saffron with orris root, which has a sort of rice-like malty accord to it, makes for a blend that is stunning. That is a woman's fragrance. Now, we've had one dupe that damn near broke the internet this year because it came out early on in the year and everyone has sworn by it, saying it's a spot-on dupe of Queening, and that is Zenith by Rafeef Perfumes. Now, that has sold out so many times. I was lucky enough to get a decant, and comparing it to my decant of Queening, maybe it's my nose, but I don't see it as a one-to-one dupe. I see Zenith as an about 80% semblance to what you're getting in Queening. Performance is good. It isn't the greatest, but it's a beautiful vanilla. It has the coconut infusion. It has the booziness. Everything you're expecting is there. But what takes away that 20% is a somewhat plasticky presence that I cannot shake off whenever I smell that fragrance. It's almost like it has that synthetic smell to it. I don't know why. And I think I want to tie it to the coconut. Now, coconut, if not done properly, can smell plasticky. So that's what I'm owing that flaw to. That thing that smells like a robbery, that's what I'm getting out of there. I think it's the coconut and I stand by it. So great fragrance, but if you're like me and who is particular about getting a fragrance that is spot on, when it's supposed to be called a spot on, you will feel like Zenith, while it's great, isn't the best. Now I'm going to compare that with a new release by Zaafaran, and this is Emotions. I'm going to show you my bottle so you can see how much I've worn this fragrance, because I like to try my fragrances a lot before I talk about them, and I'm sure you can see my dent. I have worn this quite a while. Comparing it to the number of fragrances I have here, this is a huge dent. I'm going to be honest with you. Emotions is Queening. You're getting Queening here. literally. You're getting the sweetness, you're getting the creaminess, you're getting that slight spiciness. It is as sweet as you get in queening. It is as rounded and smooth and elegant and powdery as what you're getting in queening. It is that oris that is added in here perfectly. My only gripe about this fragrance is while it is spot on to queening, you're not missing out anything. It is not the strongest. It is better than what I got in Rafeef, but it is not the biggest. So you're not getting that heavy projection. This is one that if you overspray, I mean, people around you, like a good 1 feet, maybe 2, can smell, but I don't think it follows you anywhere you go, which is something I enjoy with queening. I mean, the decanter I have, when I spray it on, I get noticed. I have this beautiful fragrance trail, but I'm not getting that in Emotions. That might not be a problem for a lot of people, but I had to share with you that one flaw that I'm getting with this fragrance. Now, I forgot to hold up my decant of Zenith here, but if I was to compare both, you would know from my description that while Zenith is a good enough fragrance, I mean, it's been hyped a lot, I don't think that it's a spot-on dupe of queening. Now, if you're looking for that fragrance that puts the S in spot on, then you're going to get that in Emotions. Not the best in performance, but it literally smells like the OG. My final verdict when it comes to the exact dupe of Queening by Mind Games, I'll definitely give it to Emotions by Zaafaran. I'm hoping that the more it sits, the stronger it gets, and you're going to get a great performance as what you're getting in Queening. So I would say, get this, don't get this. Now, before I get to the last fragrances in the Dupe Court, do you know I have an ongoing giveaway? Yes, I'm collaborating with Macedon Perfumes to give out a brand new bottle of their masterpiece, Proud Mary, a creation by Sea Chronicles, one of the OGs in the game. If you want to partake in that giveaway, which is ending in about a week, I'd like you to go to a video I'm going to post in the description where I spoke about that fragrance. You got to watch it to the end so you can get the details on how to partake in the giveaway. Do not say I didn't put you on. A giveaway is a good thing that you're going to get one of the best fragrances for summertime. Now let's continue with Dupe Court. Now the last fragrance before the Court is this gorgeousness, Wavechild by Room 1015. This is a love of mine. This is your ripe, juicy watermelon fragrance with an infusion of coconut, giving it a sweetness and a creaminess as it settles on your clothes or on your skin. This fragrance will have you ready for summer. It's impossible for you to smell this and not think of a tropical getaway or a vacation in a sunny island. This is delicious from the start to the finish. I love this. One of my favorite fruity fragrances, at least in the past 3-4 years. It is so good and it's long lasting. And for the price point, I want people who cannot necessarily get this to get the taste of the scent. And so we have a number of dupes. First up, an Abiyedh Coral by Lattafa. This has been out for 2-3 years, I think. And for me, you're getting that brightness, you're getting the juiciness. It's fresh, it's lush. It also has a sparkling feel, literally like what you're getting in Wavechild. Performance, you're getting about 6 to 8 hours, similar to what you're getting in Wavechild, I would say. And it just is perfect when it comes to getting Wavechild. I cannot smell coral and tell you anything is missing from what I got or what I'm getting in Wavechild. If you're literally looking for that scent for a ginormous fraction, you're going to get that in coral. One of my favorites. In fact, this is my second bottle because I ran through it last summer and I just knew I needed to get it again. So this I purchased, I think March of this year, and now it's what, June? So you can see I'm making a bit of dent with it. I would note though that coral is not one that is a strong fragrance when you get it. So you have to allow it to set and sit, which is why I actually got it early on before summer, because I already knew that if I had waited for summertime and I started wearing it, it wouldn't really perform, it wouldn't really project. It's almost like me not doing the right thing to enjoy my fragrance. So that's why I got it early on. And that is the thing with coral. And fragrances within the Abiyedh line, I've noticed, aren't the greatest in terms of performance, especially at the beginning. But if you allow them to sit, to set, you're going to get the fragrance performing just like any fragrance that they're inspired by. And that is with coral. Now I'm going to compare this with Pacific Aloha by Rayhaan. Now, I've been loving Rayhaan fragrances. I think I'm probably going to do a video of my favorite Rayhaan fragrances. But Rayhaan came out last year and they have just started making a mark within the fragrance community. I love the way their bottles are designed because they all retain the same structure, which my girl Alali has pointed out, saying it would be great if brands keep the same aesthetic when it comes to their packaging because it gives that retention in terms of associating a design with a brand. You know what I mean? Anyway, with Rayhaan, you're getting the same square bottle, which I love, but that's not why we're here. It's about the fragrance. Yes, it has that sweet, juicy deliciousness, but for me, after a couple of hours, it disappears off my skin. And I'm wondering what's going on. That is a surprise because Rayhaan fragrances last for me, but Pacific Aloha disappears. I have bathed myself. I don't know if you can see how much I've used. This is the dent. I only got this, I think, 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. And anytime I spray it, basically after a few hours, I don't see it anymore. I have to carry this along with me and spraying it. And in my head, it's like, that's so much trouble because, again, Rayhaan fragrances do last. So I'm quite surprised at this abysmal performance. Maybe it's me, maybe I got a bad batch. But for me, when I compare it to what I'm getting with Coral, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Coral wins. Both smell the literal same thing with Wavechild. There is no difference. In fact, if performance wasn't a concern for you, this is a tie, a complete tie. But if you're looking for a fragrance, I mean, you're spending your money, be it $1, $2, $10, you're spending your money and you're looking for longevity and that performance, you're not going to get that with Pacific Aloha. That's been my experience, and I have to keep things 100% with you. Coral is a better performer, longer lasting. I've experienced that not just with this bottle, with my other bottle, while with Aloha, I have tried. I've bathed myself in it. Performance, it's not sticking. So my recommendation is, don't get this, get this. And there you have it, sweetheart. These are my thoughts on the fragrance alternatives, spot on dupes I have identified to some luxury perfumes right now. What are your thoughts? Have you tried any of these? Let me know in the comments. Also, what fragrances would you like for me to compare and bring to the Dupe Court? Put them in the comments and I'll be sure to check them out and hopefully get to bring them to you in the next case of the Dupe Court.